close this point, is basically monitoring is one of the very, very important point that is emerging. Earlier what used to happen is, see, there is something that is said that unless you measure something, you cannot improve. That is why Usain Bolt keeps saying that I am 958 and I would like to do 957. Had someone not measured that Usain Bolt has run 958, he would have never thought about 957. So unless you measure something, you are not going to improve on those aspects. So what we are doing is, we are bringing the monitoring part into it in the game, where you monitor everything that is going into it. Maybe it is uptime, you measure about the cooling expenses, you measure how is your IT equipments, where they can get housed. And that is why Emerson invested heavily in company like Avocent, which is into data center infrastructure management. So it is like we are slightly changing. We are aware that there is a landscape that is rapidly changing. At times it is very scary that things do change very fast around us, and we still coping up with it, and we are putting a lot of effort in addressing the changing environment of IT and upgrading our passive infrastructures to meet that.
Got it. So basically, one positive aspect of the smart transformation is that the IT is also looking at the passive infrastructure in a different manner. So one point you mentioned how the VMware part and Gopal might not like if servers are reduced, but there. So I'll come to now Sanjay. Now it's an interesting point the three gentlemen mentioned, who are sort of with their providing the different pieces in the chain of the end-to-end solution to the end customers. And you are sort of the facilitator, if I may say, who is helping bring their solutions to the customers there. So as the, and being the one, I may say, your legacy as the biggest distributor both globally as well as in India. And now, last few years, we have seen the transformation of Ingram Micro itself beyond a distributor. So what is that relation with the solution providers or vendors like the three of the leading names who are here, and there are others in the audience also, and how do you sort of facilitate or help that their solutions reach the CIOs? So what exactly the role that you are playing there?
Sure. As you know that Ingram Micro is a B2B company, so our business model essentially is business to business. We work with partners who provide solutions to the clients, the end customers, the CIOs who are present over here. If you see that it's not only in the last 2-3 years that we've been transforming. We started the transformation journey way back 2 decades back. I'll give you a simple example. A moment you talk about distributor, people construe it as just keeping merely stocks, facilitating credit, doing efficiency of execution of transactions, etc. But way back when, I think the few years back, actually almost about 2 decades back, the system integration business was in the hands of only a few national SIs, to name as such like HCL, Wipros, etc. Right? We saw the SMB client base rapidly increasing, and that's where actually the solution providing to this SMB customers, the reach was not being able to be provided by a few national system integrators. There came a rise of regional or a city-based system integrators. Obviously, the business was slow, so investments from the resellers was not up to the mark, and it was not giving returns to them at that point in time. We did start value-added division for the first time in the IT as a IT distributor. We put pre-sales resources, we went to vendors, we acquired those skills, and then we went to the resellers, we educated them, we trained them so that they could go and give us a reach in the SMB set of customers, right? So Ingram Micro's role, when we say that we help customers realize the promise of technology, means that we understand what vendors wants to provide at different point in time depending upon where the technology is heading, what are the skill sets that are available with the resellers, and how do we complement and be an integral part of the chain. Similarly, 2-3 years back, we saw that the model of business is shifting from CapEx to OpEx. A lot of software vendors wants to provide their licensing on cloud. right? So we started a new division, which is cloud division, and we have an aggregation, a partner for most of the software vendors. We have our own cloud platform, wherein now resellers can actually build the solution by using the way they want to meet the client's requirement and the solution. They can, the solution can be expanded, it can be contracted. It is made simple for resellers to provide those solutions in the fastest
these
way.
resellers can even white label those solutions.
They can do that, yes, they can do that. And depending upon the need, they can expand, they can contract. It's a much faster way to give solutions, make solutions, and provide to the customers, etc. So this is one of them. Recently, we felt that need to help because obviously disposition of IT asset was a big issue that was being faced. How do large enterprises dispose of their assets, right? Or how do they, recycle their assets? We acquired a company, and then we are now started to provide those kind of services. So at any point in time, if you see, I think the distributor role, mere from stocking or providing credit or giving logistics and warehousing solutions, is to understand what are the activities or the value additions that we are required to do, depending upon what vendors require, what our resellers require, and what the end customers require, and fill those gaps by providing complementary solutions to it. So at any point in time, if you see, we have transformed over a period of last 2 decades, and depending upon the time, the situation, the technology, we have done a pioneering role of little doing investments little in the advanced stage, so that we are ready when the technology is going to come back. So that's actually the role of Ingram Micro.
I'll just once go through all of the panelists. There's a paucity of time, as you know, we're running behind schedule. So I'll ask a short question and expect a short answer to each of you. If I may mention the 2 main points next 12 months in your journey to help enterprises in this digital transformation, what would be HP's main agenda? If I may ask the 2 main agenda, how would you help CIOs?
So the change is happening very fast, and what HPE is planning to do is, HPE is planning to focus on a transformation area where we are helping the customers in terms of how they move from the traditional IT approach to a transformed IT approach, which is bringing in much more consolidated, standardized, virtualized, automated hardware kind of a solution to increase the efficiency, agility, to have a better control of the systems. And second is how we are mapping the IT to the business goals of the organization.
Okay.
Right? That is very, very important because today the way the business is going to happen for any enterprise is going to be different because of the social media, analytics and cloud picking up in the enterprise. So the way the business is going to happen is changing, and it has to be a clear mapping of the IT transformation in terms of the infrastructure architecture to the business applications, and which is aligned to the business priority goals, what the end objective which the enterprise wanted to achieve. And we see the social media, analytics and cloud picking up in a faster manner. So HP will be able to help the customers in terms of how they move from the traditional standard IT approach to a much more smarter IT.
Okay. So if I may sum, the main thing is mapping IT to the business goals. Coming to you.
Yeah, I agree with that again. Why? Because today business are the guys who are bringing business for the customers, and they are the ones who are looking at what are the different software they need to incorporate so that they can thrive in next 5 years. If IT need to support that businesses, the dynamic change which is happening, is talking about SMAC and all, like there's a change. If the IT need to support that change, they need to have a different form of IT. In a sense, they can't simply rely on the same traditional way of IT which they were doing for the last 10 years. So we spoke about the new architecture of IT. That's what I want to convey also. If customers looking that they want to survive in this digital business, they need to look at a different form of IT. Okay. So we are there to support them, starting off with the compute virtualization, with software-defined networking, with software-defined storage, with cloud, end-user mobility solutions and all this. We are there to support customers in each and every way. So it's a baby step in the sense. They will start off with the compute, they will move into the other assets in data center like the storage network and everything. But then we can guide them that what is the step towards moving to that environment now. So we are there.
Perfect. The new architecture of IT.
Yes.
Santosh, coming to you, what would be your main message or action points over the next 12 months?
So basic point here is about smart enterprises, and we basically what we are suggesting is green initiatives are there because the data centers are traditionally seen as the energy guzzlers. So you save anything out there by monitoring things properly is going to be a benefit. And that is one of the point which we are going to align with lot of CIOs entire country, pan-India. We are trying to have a drive where we call it as a green initiative, where we come and discuss our thought processes, our ideas with you, try and see the feasibility of those ideas in your environment, and then try and see the implementation that can happen in a phased manner, so that not only that only smart, it is not only about bringing a new technology inside, but being green also is smart. That is
Okay.
what is a concept that we are trying to bring in the whole
So-
basically IT
So
infrastructure.
it's both environment consciousness as well as saving money
And,
in terms.
Yeah. Second point, what we are trying to say, that we are really aligning. See, I'll tell you, I would not have said this if I had been 2008, 2009 kind of a stuff, where we were basically looking only at a facility side of the infrastructure. Today, we have transformed ourselves, or trying to, maybe in the transformation phase, we need your help at the same time, that we are aligning ourselves with the changes that are happening in IT. So what we are trying to do is that if there is something new that is happening in IT, new trend is coming in IT servers or the storages and all that, we are training our people to go understand what exactly that change and how it impacts the infrastructure, passive infrastructure, and then they talk that language.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is one of the change. These two things we are bringing in next 12
So
months.
internal transformation according to. So Sanjay, you heard the three main points which come was mapping IT to business goals, the new architecture of IT, and smarter through green. So from Ingram's perspective, next 12 to 18 months, I'd say, what would be your main action points or main message that you would be giving out?
I think, just to keep it short, it would be supporting and helping the partners to grow the services businesses along with the product, and not remain confined only to product supplied to their clients. That's going to be a single most agenda for Ingram Micro. And all the services that we have added in the last couple of years, how do we help partners to go and promote those services, or help end customers avail of those services in terms of either replacing their assets or recycling their assets, or going on the cloud, changing them from capex to opex, etc. So the whole focus is going to be in the short term of 12 to 18 months on how do we help partners provide these kind of services, and how do we actually skill them to provide these services
Okay.
to the clients.
So the changing dynamics of services and how you help partners achieve
to
that.
change it. Yeah.
Great. We sort of heard from three main vendors and the biggest distributor about some of the main agenda or the main points over the next 12 to 18 months. Thanks to all the panelists, and we can take this conversation further offline during the. Thanks to all of you.
Can you stay back with us? We would request Rajneesh to stay back with us. Once again, can we hear a huge round of applause for the panelists, ladies and gentlemen? We have a small fireside chat with IBM, delivering cognitive businesses. And we would like to invite on stage Mr. Rakesh Meher, National Brand Manager, Content Analytics, IBM, and Mr. Vaidyanathan R. Iyer, Business Unit Executive, IBM Security Systems. Please get your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as we start off with the fireside chat. Thank you.
We are talking with the oldest IT company in the world about two of the newest aspects of IT, maybe today. And we earlier mentioned about the SMAC concept. So if I may add another S to SMACs. So two of the aspects of SMACs will be discussed, analytics and security. So let's start with the analytics aspect first. I'm sure many of the CIOs assembled here would have been using analytics or big data in some way in their organizations to sort of analyze data and help it to grow their businesses, but what sort of analytics roadmap currently you see amongst Indian enterprises and the offerings that IBM has? How do you help in that journey? How do you help the CIOs in that journey, in that analytics part?
Okay, so are you planning to wrap up this session with this question? Because this is going to take a hell lot of time. Anyway, I'll just try to add some substance to that question so that it would be a little relevant to many of the CIOs and other participants in this forum. See, I would like to start with analytics as a concept. I will deep dive into technology later on. See, analytics is something like what? A cerebrospinal fluid. Even when you are talking about a digital transformation, right? It helps you to give you a direction. Now, let me give you an analogy first. So, in one of the discussions, you had a chat with your friend, and you heard that the breathtaking experience he had while driving down the West Coast Marine Drive, right? So, suddenly what you decide that, oh, fantastic, let me have also the same kind of experience. And then you suddenly went to the shop and you bought a V12 engine. Instead of buying a car, you bought a V12 engine. That is exactly happening in the industry. When CIOs, CXOs level people are talking about digital transformation using analytics, which is an experience, a breathtaking experience driving down the sea coast, you are buying or you are adopting V12 engines. No. What you got to adopt is the car, is the vehicle, is the coordination. When I say about the car, is the mechanism, is the concept. So the way IBM's point of view of analytics is the end-to-end journey. It is starting from, not only from a V12 engine, starting from the architecture, the complexities, the quality, addressing the volume, the veracity, the variety of the data. It is all in a nutshell. So it is, the moment, it is quite a known trend in the industry that, okay, let's install a Hadoop. Right? Let's install a big data infrastructure. No, that is not the solution. The solution is starting from the idea of ingesting the data to crunching the data at various layers of it, unifying the definition of the data, and then the visualization part.
So here, if I may say, what I'm meaning is in terms of the solutions available from competent vendors, that there are different aspects in the database part also, but IBM sort of offers the end-to-end all the aspects and integrated together so that it helps benefit the enterprises. Okay.
Exactly, spot on. And that is the idea of implementing analytics for a digital transformation in your organization. That is the idea with which is the concept, the point of view of IBM. It is not a point solution, it is a whole journey where you need to have end-to-end ability, capability to implement the technology, embrace it, and make some sense out of it.
Okay. So now coming to more specific, this IBM's end-to-end offering. So briefly, again for the paucity of time, the 3 or 4 of the main important components and how are the IBM solutions fitting there, and what would be your sort of guidance to the CIOs?
Yeah, see, most of the times what we talk about is a data-driven transformation, right? It is not data-driven transformation. It is insight-driven transformation. Till the time you're not making sense of your data, you're not drawing insight out of it, the data is useless. So the way we are defining the different various phases of this journey is first unifying the data, cleansing the data, defining the data at various levels, and then ingesting into the, if I use the technology term, data lake. Now before ingesting the data into the data lake, you need to sanitize the data, you need to bring the data to a unified platform so that you would be able to make sense out of it. Then that is one phase where various technologies we have in IBM which would help like technology like master data management, information servers, and information stream, analytics stream, and all. Then the data lake architecture. It's a massive architecture. It's a very complex architecture. Anybody just can't design it, and that is the reason why many of the CIOs, subordinates, stick their head in the ground out of the fear of the failure of the project. And that is the reason, the very reason of the failure of the project, of the data, big data. So that is the data lake architecture, where we bring our expertise of decades old of experience in defining the data sets. Then, and of course, it is not only the real-time data, but also your historical data and also some predictive modeling on top of it to predict something, which is what might happen or what could be the best decision for your organization going forward. And the third is the visualization stage, where what the insight which you are drawing, what solution is it probing. Now forget about the solution. Are we asking the right question? That is a problem statement. Are we asking the right question to our system? No, we are not yet, because we don't know the problem yet. So that the visualization part, we have our cognitive solution, we have our predictive modeling, we have our historical analysis solutions. Wait, I don't want to talk about the products, but these are the concepts. So this is the phase where it helps you to ask the right question. So if I quickly take you through this journey, data ingestion, then data crunching, and then data visualization. These are three important phases of this analytics journey.
Since the right questions are not being asked, they are still buying the engine instead of the car. So maybe IBM can help in that.
It's a phenomenal transformation from a knowing culture to a learning culture. Knowing culture is, if I may ask, do you know what you know of what you're supposed to know? What fraction of you know what you're supposed to know?